Hello everyone and welcome back to some more Bot War coverage for the channel. Today we're still aiming for a roughly 70 point game, although there is a discrepancy of I think it was 3 or 4 points between the two sides. But we're going to do some old school Deceivers versus the Atlanticans, which are mostly the original first edition starter box content plus a little bit extra. And we're going to be doing the Assassinate scenario today on the table you can see before you. So let's take a look at the two sides and get this underway. So these are the Deceivers coming to the table today, and as I said, these are old. These are the old edition version of all these miniatures, being led by Mega Tyrant over there, who has a new miniature now and looks very different to how he currently looks. And he is joined by the Deceivers, who I believe they're in a different faction now. I believe they're in the Rock faction, like the Rock monsters and elementals and things like that. So they're quite different, but these are the old versions that were Deceivers, and they're what I have, so that's what we're using for the Deceivers today. They have very self-explanatory names based on the vehicular parts on them, but it's, let's see, Dozer, Digger, Dump Truck, Loader, and, oh, I'm blanking on the last one, Roller. The one who's actually holding his roller is Roller. So they make up roughly 70 points. I think they were just over, and the other side's bang on, and you can see how many energy cubes they're providing in front of them. And we're going to try this time holding each of them in front of them on the table rather than keeping them off the camera, just so you know for sure who has what energy in what turn. Unlike the last time they were on the table, we're not going to be doing their combiner form, again partly because it's the old models. The new edition of the model I believe has some unique attacks, different stats maybe, either way. Definitely has like unique attacks now rather than just being generic benefits for being a combiner. So we're going to keep them separate and go from there. So for the Atlanticans, we have 7 miniatures compared to the 6 in the Deceivers, being led by King Crab, which is the biggest one at the bottom left of your screen there. At the back, for the 2 in yellow, we have Moray and Stingray, I think. Yep, Stingray. Then we have the 4 in blue, which are also combiners, but they're missing their core combiner anyway, so couldn't combine them if we wanted to. That is, let's see, Thermal, Nami, Nebulous, and Egon, or Egon. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I guess we'll just say Egon. Either way. They've got some mixed rules. We've seen them before a couple of times on the channel. They've got the numbers advantage, not necessarily the strength advantage though. Most of them only have 5 HP, in fact they all do. On a note on strategy rating, because there's no Valiance on the table, so there's no Valiance go first priority here. Between both sides, let me just pan back here. The only strategy rating that's going to have a roll off is strategy rating 10, because Mega Tyrant and Crab are both strategy rating 10. The rest of the Deceivers are all strategy rating 6. No one on the Atlantican side is strategy rating 6. Moray is a 5. Stingray is a 7, I believe. 4. And the 4 in blue are all 7s. So there's no overlap there at all. So it will just be a roll off for the strategy rating 10s when that comes around. So as mentioned, we're doing scenario 4 Assassinate. So the highest strategy rating on each side is kind of like the key target. So it's the Crab and Mega Tyrant. They are worth, I think, 10 points if they're taken out. No, sorry, 5. 5 if you've taken out the enemy's priority target, and 5 also if yours survives. And beyond that, there's the additional victory points that we covered last time. You get a number of victory points based on the health of the person you take out on the enemy side. And at the end of 8 turns, or whenever someone is wiped out, we'll see who scores the most. So we'll get set up. It's 5 inches in from either side, and then we'll get started. So we're set up to go at the start of the game. The Deceivers are deployed to your left and the Atlanticans are to your right, and there's no rolling for first or anything like that. It just goes straight to strategy rating, so that means the Atlanticans will be going first. But let's take a look at where everyone is. You can see what energy they have as well behind them over here. So that is the priority target for the Atlanticans. That's the Crab. And then we have the rest of them over here as well. And then over here, it's just a big old line for the Deceivers in a nice row. And it is Mega Tyrant and which one are you? You're Dump Truck, right? Yep, Dump Truck, that have 3 energy cubes each. The rest have enough for 2. So with that, into the first turn. At strategy rating 4, Stingray is the fastest. For the Atlanticans, 2 energy to use. He used up both to do 2 movement actions. He can move up to 8. He didn't move a full 16 though, because he wanted a little bit of cover, so he's moved behind that. Now he is visible over the top of that building because it is a bit of a shorter building, so he will be able to get shot at, but he'll be getting cover, which in this game means he'll be getting a crit die on top of whatever normal shield dice he would normally get against ranged attacks. Strategy rating 5, Mori was the next fastest on the table. With 3 energy cubes to spend, he spent 2 to do his once per game air support. You times his movement by 3, you can move that much, but you can't do any close range attacks in the turn. He opted to come all the way over here, semi-obscured by the building there. He took a long range attack at Roller, so he lost 1 die for that. And 3 shield dice on Roller meant that all damage was successfully blocked. So now, thanks to 90% of the Deceivers being strategy rating 6, we get to stick with them for 5 activations in a row. So starting with Dozer, first of all, he moved forward 7 inches, which got him here. Then he took a pot shot, still long range because he was outside of 10, at Murray, and because of moving up, didn't have enough of him obscured that cover would be granted. It didn't matter in the end, only 1 success on the attack roll, only 1 success on the defense roll as well, but obviously enough that no damage went through. Next activation for the Deceivers was Digger. He moved up 7 inches as well and took a pot shot, only 1 success again, not great. Oh, actually that was short range. Is his short range just 2 dice? Yeah, oh no, range attack 3. It's not going to matter. I can roll it and add it in, but it's not going to matter because of a defense roll. Cover was granted from where he's standing, so a casual 6, 7, 8 was blocked with the extra crit die thrown in. Roller activated and shifted into high gear using both his cubes for 2 movement for a total of 14 inches and got him right up here. He is not a ranged fighter, he wants to get up close and personal. In fact, I think he only has 1 ranged attack die, yeah. But 2 close combat with a combat mace. So yeah, he wants to get in and smash somebody with that roller of his, hence his name. Second last strategy rating 6, Dump Truck moved up 7 and then initiated a long range attack into Stingray. Yeah, Stingray has the wings down, Mori has the wings up. Still getting cover for the building over here. 3 damage went in, but 6 was blocked. So not doing so well with the roll so far. Last activation for a little bit for the Deceivers now, though I think I confused Loader and Dump Truck. That is Loader, that is Dump Truck, hence having the Dump Truck on his back. So he activated, he moved up for 1 cube, then did a long range attack. He's just outside of 10, so was Loader, and only got 1 success, so not great. He's holding on to 1 energy in case he needs to boost his defense, but easily blocked there by Stingray. So now it's over to the Atlanticans, who get to do all their SR7s, so they get 4 actions in a row now. Of those 4 activations for the Atlanticans, Aegon was up first. He only had 1 energy cube though, and he's not efficient, so he does need more cubes to do things. He spent that 1 cube to move forward 7, right where you can see him there, but can't do anything else with his turn. Nami activated and moved up next to him. 2 energy cubes on them though, so they could spend both on 2 movements, giving them 14 inches, although they didn't use the full movement, just putting them there amongst the buildings with cover. He's almost fully obscured by the height of the building there, so he should be relatively safe to still get a chance to activate next turn, although who knows, he only has 5 health. Of the other 2 activations down here, Thermal activated, moved up twice for the 2 energy cubes he had, up into the cover of that building there. Worth mentioning, he and Nebulous, who's the one who's about to act, they both have Magnetic Disruptor Gun. From what I remember, that's short range only, but you roll just crit dice, so it's incredibly damaging if they get close enough to get the chance to use it. And we can just see where Nebulous ended up. Walked up here with Thermal, kind of heading down the main street between the buildings here. There is a clear line of fire right there. I'm not sure Mega Tyrant can get that line of sight. Speaking of which, we're up to SR10 now. Everyone else on the table is gone. It's a draw between Crab and Mega Tyrant. They're both SR10. Neither of them are Valiant, so there's just going to be a D6 roll off to decide which of them gets activated first, and then we'll be back. The Atlanticans won the roll off, so the CRAB went first for SR10, the Crab. He had 4 energy. He immediately spent 2 of it to activate his ultimate called Armored Might. You have to maintain it every turn for 2 energy. And what it does is it limits you to short range attacks only, but you get a crit die for your short range attacks, you get an extra crit die for close combat, and one of your shield dice gets converted to a crit die as well, which is the minimum success on a crit die is a 1. You can't roll a 0. So it's a little bit of extra help for him to stay alive. He then moved up 7 inches and had 1 power left on him. Probably not going to matter, but with that it's over to Mega Tyrant to take us to the end of the first round. Mega Tyrant spent 1 energy cube to move 7 inches, putting him there and giving him a line of sight down the street at Nebulous. Did a long ranged attack, meaning that he loses 1 die, so he's down to 3, but he did pretty well with it. He got 5 successes, blasting down the street here, all the way down to Nebulous with 2 shield dice, no cover, Only blocked 1, took 4 damage as a result. Not enough to kill him though, but he does have 1 health remaining. So a little bit of a nasty hit there. Don't think he has anything that would have helped that at all. No, he's mostly just an aggressive shotgun. A glass cannon shotgun, I guess you could say. So that takes us to the end of the first turn. So at the end of the first turn, just to be clear, the score is 0-0 because there's been no casualties, with Nebulous holding on by a thread to avoid any victory points being scored for him going down. Everything to play for, the SR ratings never change, so as we roll around to turn 2, the Atlanticans get a chance to do a little bit of an alpha strike. At the top of turn 2 we can see where the energy distribution has gone for each side. I think for the Atlanticans it's basically identical. So 2 over here on Moray, 2, 2, 4 on the Crab, 2, 2 and 2. And it will be Stingray. Stingray wings down. Stingray who goes first, followed by Moray. For the Deceivers, a little bit of a shake up here. 2, 2, 2, 2, 3 on Mega Tyrant, and also 3 on Roller to try and take advantage of potentially charging into someone and getting a good whack off before he gets shot off the table. So Stingray SR4, not 3, SR4 activated, put himself back a little bit with 1 cube spent on movement, just staying within 10 inches barely to do a close range attack into Roller. His attack was pretty good at 4, was a little unsure whether he should get cover from this angle here, but as you can see, Roller's base defense dice alone would be enough because he blocked 5, so it doesn't matter whether or not the crit would have happened. I think it probably wouldn't have. I'm pretty sure Stingray can see like 75% of him. The corner barely cuts off his base, but again, it doesn't really matter because his base dice was enough that no damage went through. Moray was next to activate, stayed where he was and just did 2 energy cubes spent on 2 ranged attacks into Digger, close range, and consolidated the number of dice just to show the full damage. He got 3 successful hits on his first attack, a massive 6 on his second. Digger has 3 shield dice, again consolidated the number of dice just to have enough to show you how much was blocked. He did block 4 on his first roll, taking no damage because that was against 3. And for the 6 damage, he actually blocked 6, which is a perfect roll on those because there's no 3 on those. So he got a perfect block, didn't need to buff his defense or anything like that. He took the hit and kept on coming. Well, we're back around to the 5 activations in a row for the Deceivers. This is our chance to do a lot of damage before the strategy rating 7s activate for the Atlanticans. Started with Roller, he spent 2 on Ram Attack, his once per game, plus 3 movement, giving him 10. And if he initiates a close combat attack, he gets an extra crit die on top of the base 1 you get. So he went after, who was it he went after around here? Nami, I believe. And that's the roll there. He got a casual 10 damage. Nami spent 1 energy to buff defense, rolling an extra shield die, and only managed to block 2, taking 8 damage. So 1 energy cube is just evaporated into, well, 2 in total, because that's how much he would normally generate. But that is Nami out there. We're going to count up the score at the end, so we're just going to have people remove for now, just to keep it a surprise. Digger was next up, spending 1 on a 7-inch move to get into close combat with Moray, and then spent his other cube to attack. His combat scimitar gave him the ability to reroll 2 dice in his attack roll. He got 4 in total, 2 of which was blocked, 2 damage through there, so that gives Moray 4 health remaining. Well, further taking advantage of being faster, Loader activated, spent 1 to move at 7, then spent another to do a close range attack on Nebulous, just wanting to do that 1 damage. Nebulous buffed his defense for 1 cube, 4 hits came in against 1 success, and he doesn't have a shield or anything like that, so with 1 more energy left on the table, that is the second Atlantican down. A similar move for Dump Truck, he moved up 7 and took a pot shot, close range at Stingray, and got 3 hits through, 2 blocked there, a lot of 3 attack dice versus 3 defense dice so far, but 1 damage did get through, leaving him on 5 health remaining. So Dozer activated and decided to abandon this side of the table. He couldn't really get into a good position to shoot at thermal, so he opted to ignore him and only spend 1 cube to come around here. He's holding on to the other for defense, just on the off chance he gets shot at. That is it for the strategy rating 6s on the Deceivers. They managed to get 2 kills out of the 4 strategy rating 7s that would have activated now, so it's just over to 2 of them. Well, they needed a big play here with lots of damage when Thermal activated with his electronic disruptor gun. He moved up 7, took a shot at Loader. The initial roll only had 4 total successes. He's a sharpshooter, so he gets to reroll 1. That got him 1 extra out of it, so 5 in total. When the maximum payout is 9, that's just okay, I guess. And Loader only has 2 shield dice though. He did manage to successfully block 3, however. He took 2 damage, leaving him on 3 health remaining, but that really needed to be a kill. Last of the strategy rating 7s to activate was Aegon. He charged around the corner into close combat with Roller, and he is a pugilist, so he had 1 reroll on his close combat dice. Unfortunately, a blank rerolled into a blank. He still got 5 successes though against 3 shield dice, and Roller blocked 4, taking 1 damage, bringing him down to 4 HP remaining. Now, on a side note about Roller, I totally forgot he has a combat mace, so he would have made whoever he attacked, I've forgotten which one it was now, Nebulous, or no, I think it was Nami. Either way, they would have rolled 1 less shield die because of his combat mace. Didn't matter because he killed them anyway, but just something that was missed. So we're up to the SR10s for the second turn, and it started with Crab, the CRAV. He moved up, first of all, in the upkeep phase at the top of the turn, he paid 2 to upkeep Armoured Might. It isn't an action, you're just upkeeping what you spent or activated last turn. So he spent 2 for that, so Armoured Might stays on. He moved up for 1 cube, then spent another cube on doing a ranged attack. Close range to get that extra black die thrown in. Got a total of 7 against Dump Truck, who blocked 4. So he took 3 and left himself on... wait, did he take 3? No, sorry, he blocked 4. Yeah, he took 3. I can count sometimes. So he has 3 health left because he is a 6 health miniature. And then it's over to Mega Tyrant to end off the turn again. Well, Mega Tyrant moved up for 1 energy cube, but then spent the other 2 he had for a boosted close range attack into Stingray? Mori? I've forgotten again. Either way though, he got 7 attack dice in, but 4 was blocked, and he was already wounded, so he's down to 2 health remaining, and we're going to have to go over here to check who it is. I'm going to guess that it's Stingray. And it is Stingray. Wings down is Stingray, yeah. So he's got 2 health remaining, so that's important though, because it does mean he is going to get the chance to activate, because he is one of the 2 fastest left on the table. But that does take us to the end of the second turn. So the end of turn 2, the Atlanticans are a little bit on the back burner, because they're down 2, which takes 5 energy out of their total pool, which might mean that the Crab can't keep Armoured Might upheld. We'll have to see when we go into turn 3 here. One of them is almost dead, one of them is wounded, but even though they couldn't quite confirm the kill, a couple of the Deceivers are very close to getting taken out. So we'll see what happens as we go into turn 3, but as things stand at the moment, it looks like the Deceivers have the advantage. So at the top of turn 3, we can take a quick look where energy has been distributed. Down here, 2 and 2, and the Crab, that's the most important thing. He is going to be able to spend those 2 to maintain the upkeep of Armoured Might. Thermo took a hit to how much energy he's allowed. He's only got 1. Everyone else for the Atlanticans have 2, but that was to give the Crab enough power to do that, or enough energy. For the Deceivers, everybody's got 2 except Mega Tyrant, who has 4. He does also have a role where he can steal a cube from a friend when he activates, assuming someone has 1 left over. So fastest on the table, Stingray and Mori. So Stingray was up first, 2 energy to play with. He ended up over there hiding behind the building after moving. But first of all, we did a close range attack into Dump Truck. Got 3 successful hits through. Dump Truck buffed his defense because he wanted to make sure he gets a turn. So he's only going to have 1 energy to play with. And during his activation, he blocked 4, so his 3 remaining health is safe for now. Mori stayed where he was, initiating 2 close combat attacks into Digger. For the first one, he got 5 successes through, only 1 was blocked. So at that point, for the second attack, Digger spent 1 energy to boost his defense, but it was futile because that was 4, 5, 6, 7 energy, or 7 damage rather, coming in. He did manage to block 4, but those 2 attacks combined erase his 5 health. So that is the first casualty for the Deceivers. It did take all his actions, both actions and both energy he had, but that is one of them fallen. We're until the SR6 activations for the Deceivers now. Started with Roller. Look at him, he's over there. He's like he's just passed through his victim anime style. He spent 1 cube on initiating a ranged attack into Aegon and managed to get a massive 7 versus 2 blocked. So Aegon is out of there, and then he spent his other energy, so that'll be removed in a second as well, just to move where you can see him. Didn't want to engage either target because there's ranged attack opportunities later on. Loader activated, stayed where he was and fired 2 close range shots down the street at Thermo to try and take him out. First result was a total of 5. Again, the dice are being consolidated just to use how many are in the box. Second attack was also 5. Both were 5. Down here, Thermal did not boost his defense because he only has 1 energy on him and he wants that to do an attack. He blocked 4 off the first one, 3 off the second. That does mean he did not die. He is alive on 2 health remaining so far, but there's still 2 more potential activations that could kill him. Yep, unfortunately for the Atlanticans, Dozer finished the job. Rolling a close combat attack, a close range attack against him, managed to get 7, 5, 6, 7. Yes, I can count again. Blocked 4, but not enough. So Thermal is also out of there, decimating the Atlantican lines and leaving 1 more SR6 to activate and no SR7s on the table, I believe. Hang on, isn't there still 1 alive somewhere? No, they're all dead now. Yeah, he was the last one. So after the SR6 is all activated, straight to SR10. Dump Truck only had 1 energy left to play with after spending 1 to boost his defense earlier in the turn. So he stayed where he was and shot at the crab, getting 5 hits in. The crab is still upholding Armoured Might, although this is probably going to be the last turn he's going to be able to now. Which means one of his shield dice gets converted to a crit die. He fully blocked the attack by blocking 6. Well, the crab activated, stayed where he was and did 2 ranged attacks. The first one into Roller, rolling a massive 10 hits versus 3 block. That does remove, almost removes Roller from the game. He fired into Dump Truck with the other one getting 4 hits through to 3 shield, so 1 damage got through, leaving Dump Truck on 2 health remaining. And once again it's over to Mega Tyrant to end the turn. Well, in an effort to cut off the head and take home the prize, Mega Tyrant did 2 boosted, not boasted, although I'm sure he did boast as he was doing it, 2 boosted close range attacks into the crab, and there's so many dice to roll because he's 4 base plus 5 because he boosted, or plus 1, 2, 5 because he boosted. The dice for the first attack is not on the board. The second attack he did 6, and the block for the crab on the second hit was also 6, so he took none from that one. But against the first volley of shots, or big cannon blast, he actually took half his health. He took 4 damage, so he's hurting on that one. He did want to use his force field rule, which is a once per game shield boost to either him or a friendly within a certain range, but it's when you boost shields, so because he had no power left, he couldn't actually use it. So he got lucky that he blocked that full damage, because the Hail Mary defense thing he was going to do actually wasn't possible because he had no power left to initiate a boost. If he had done, it would have given 3 boosted dice instead of 1, I think it is. He might have enough going into the next turn though, because he's not going to have enough for Armoured Might, I'm fairly sure. So then about round 3, there is 4 Atlanticans down. They fold like paper, those little guys. Maybe their combined form is better, I'm not sure, but they do seem to die real easy. 2 of them are essentially glass cannons, to be fair, but it is hard to make use of them, and the 1 effort they did make, it wasn't enough to seal the deal. But 4 of them are down, 2 Deceivers are down as well, but very limited energy now for the Atlanticans to play with. I believe they have 7, I think. So not a lot, probably not keeping Armoured Might up, but we'll see in a second. Well, top of turn 4/battle round 4, and the Atlanticans are in a spot of bother. They are all just holding on to the energy they themselves generate, so Mori and Stingray have 2 and Crab has 3. Armoured Might is not being upheld, so he's now just down to basic shield dice. He does still have Force Field to back him up for 1 big attack, where he can boost and get extra shield dice. For the Deceivers, they are pretty much holding on to the energy they themselves generate, with the exception of 1 of the energy that Dump Truck generates has been given to Mega Tyrant instead. So with the survivors as they are, the Atlanticans are getting their Moray and Stingray actions, but then it's 3 for the Deceivers unless someone goes down. In a bit of an all or nothing play, Stingray came out from where he was hiding and did a close range attack into Dump Truck, hoping to do that 2 damage to get rid of him. 4 hits. Dump Truck did boost his defense and blocked 4 in total, so he is very much alive. So it's over to Moray now. Well, unfortunately for Mori, he is so far from where the action is now, he just double moved for his turn, getting him up behind this building, close to where the threat is, but not able to contribute this turn. So it is over to the 3 Deceivers now to get their actions. Dump Truck chose to activate first of the SR6s, only 1 energy left over after protecting himself earlier, but he shot into Stingray, managed to get 6. 3 was blocked, so obviously that is more than the 2 health he had remaining. So Stingray is out of there. Well, Dozer was up next, and he did 2 close range attacks into Crab, and consolidating the dice once again. His first volley did 4, his second did 6. Against the first volley, Crab only blocked 1, taking 3 damage and leaving him on 1 health. So when the second volley came in, he boosted his defense and used force field, so he was getting 3 extra defense dice. Again, they've been consolidated down instead of the usual 1 extra, and he blocked 5, but unfortunately 6 came in, so that means 1 got through, and that is enough that the kill has been confirmed. Crab is gone. He was the assassination target as well, so it's basically game there with just Mori left on the table with 4 health. We've still got a couple of actions to go though, so we might as well play out the rest of his turn. Even if he doesn't go down though, we'll call this the last turn. Loader came round the corner and did a close ranged attack into Mori. 3 dice versus 3 dice, 4 damage went in and 4 damage was fully blocked. So it just comes down to whether or not Mega Tyrant can get a shot off. Well, Mega Tyrant moved back around the building to there to take a shot at Mori. From that angle he couldn't see much of him, so getting cover. But he boosted his attack and he managed to get 6, and then Mori managed to block 4, taking 2 damage, meaning he lived with 2 health remaining. Now technically that means we go into battle round 5. He would activate first, he might kill someone, sure. Whose dump truck's got 2 health left, so potentially could easily take him out. But we are going to call that there with the Deceivers win. We'll cover the points as is. Let's just say with his tail between his legs, he survived the turn. Mori transformed into his vehicular form and flew away. Well, at the end of the game, to make it official, the Atlanticans, their VIP was killed for 5. The Deceivers VIP lived for another 5, so that's a flat 10 right there. Everyone else fell into the HP range of 5 to 7, which means they were all worth 2 HP, 2 victory points each, which means another 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So that is 20, or just over, hang on, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, yeah. It depends whether or not you count the Crab as a kill separately from the fact that we're the VIP, because that could be another 4 for how much HP he had. Either way though, obviously a lot compared to the 4 that the Atlanticans gained for the 2 Deceivers that went down. Just though, as a reminder, these are the old Deceivers, they're a bit different now. I don't think these ones are even part of a Deceiver faction anymore. I think they're their own separate one with like rock monsters and things that look kind of cool. But these are the ones we have, so they're the ones we're using. But I hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching some more Bot War on the channel and for giving it a chance. If you want to show your support for the channel, please do consider leaving a like, leaving a comment, or if you want to go above and beyond, consider becoming a channel member or pressing the thanks button. It helps out, it's all reinvested in the channel and helps keep this possible. Thank you for watching either way though, enjoy the rest of your day and see you next time. Ta for now.